Hi everybody, it's nice to see you. I'm going to do another relaxed pace tarot reading for the general public, for the general energies going around right now. I'm going to start with the Hermetic Tarot deck. Just going to shuffle. Oops. Okay, now we'll keep those guys. I got a few decks here. Okay. It's Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so I've been baking some pumpkin down to pulp so I can make some family recipes and stuff that my kids really like. It's cute how much kids like celebration, tradition, like repetition of something if it's like fun. Good. Oops. So it's a pleasure to do that. Okay, I guess I'll take these three. Ascended Masters. Spirits that put in the work and have a lot to show us. Oops, okay. It's my chihuahuas over there like burrowing in the duvet. He's so tiny that I have to remember to like pat down the covers before I jump on the bed. Okay, and then a couple more decks. If you're just joining me, I'm doing like a laid back tarot reading for the general energies. I'm just going through a few decks and pulling cards. Okay, I'll take this group. I don't know why. Okay, I feel like my guides don't want me to use Mother Peace today. I accept that. I figure there's a tolerance for slow videos because, as I mentioned before, like a few readings ago, like I'm aware that there's some slow-paced videos out there. So that gives me license to take my time and not have to be like too much of a showman. Which is cool. Oops, okay. Oh, all right. Well, okay. No judging. All right. One more from this deck. I know in the States, like Thanksgiving is basically Christmas time. You know, do what you like, I guess. Kind of, to me, like Canadian Thanksgiving timing makes more sense because it's actually at the harvest time or even like after. So I was like, I think it's weird that in the States it's like late November or whenever it is. I mean, we could just go back to celebrating them on the like solstices and whatever those like pagan holidays. This when the seasons actually cycle. I think if we put a little more emphasis back on Earth celebrations and cycles, we would tune into Earth more and like behave more like properly. It's like this guy who was like deeply upset on the metro yesterday or the day before, was just like calling everybody out for not being good caretakers of the earth and stuff. And, you know, like while the delivery, you know, it's like, don't shoot the messenger, you know, like if you take away the awkwardness of how he transmitted that message. It's like he's right, you know. we have to do a better job with that. So, and one way would be to like celebrate, like if you think of Earth as a person, the big person, who's like beautiful and wonderful and important to us, like it's, you know, it's good to celebrate aspects of them when they go through their transformations and cycles and birthdays and stuff. So I guess I'm saying, I guess I'm telling you guys that it might be a cool idea to celebrate like those Earth cycles and not feel like it's necessarily tied to your religion. It's more like out of respect for a good friend of yours, right? Not saying it can't be using pagan traditions or whatever, but I'm totally out of the loop with what's involved there. You know, I've seen Wicker Man, I've seen Andrei Rublev, those movies, like, so I have somewhat of an idea of what's involved, but I'm certainly not going to be the person to tell you how to celebrate a pagan festival. Long story short, okay. So, all right, so let's start with the Rumi cards. We have Enter the Garden of Delights. If you can enter them without seeing this ring light. Okay. Enter the ring light. Okay. And then, oh, that's interesting. I feel like when I look at this card, what? Weird. Okay. What? There's no, okay. Really tripping on this card. Okay. So I feel like there's this woman who's like contemplating, I don't know if you can see this like shape of like a leg and a body and an arm and a head. I'm kind of like taking liberties here with this card. But anyway, and then I thought I saw like two guys up here, like, or one or two, like checking that out. And then it turned into like one guy with like a hat. You see that? You see that guy? Arms and legs. Kind of aggressive dude, like angrily trying to like get in on her space. Like, don't you realize we're supposed to, like, I'm coming for you? Like, don't you realize we're supposed to be together? Kind of vibe. But then this like tiny white waterfall here makes me feel like everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. But it's like, but no, that there's either someone who's like highly interested, but who's like very awkward in expressing their love in a way that seems like overbearing, stalkerish, you know. Meanwhile, you just want to be in your like little ring light paradise here, doing your thing, healing, thinking about stuff, like enjoying the sunlight. I feel like I'm over accessorized when I put my glasses on. Like, this is okay, but this with fashion, you know, you're allowed one item that is crazy, and in my case, it could be my hair color. But then I let myself have a second one, but a third, that's pushing it. Okay, this is like much better. Because even I have to look at myself here on the computer. I almost said that in French, but I'm doing this in English. Okay, and then enter the Garden of Delights, like, but did we invite this guy? Anyway, so in your Garden of Delights, like in rebuilding yourself and, you know, on this quarantine time off, like, you know, whatever gender or like, it's not necessarily like the female is just like the female energy that anyone can have. And it's like, you know, feminine traits would be, you know, nurturing and, you know, things like that. We all have both resides in us. But like, let's just say you've done a lot to create this like beautiful environment for yourself, like within yourself, and maybe even it showed up reflecting that on the outside too. And then there may be some kind of interloper vibe. I kind of feel like this person isn't like the best choice as a partner. It just feels like that. So there might be someone like who's just been hanging around or wanting to get in on this action, who just needs to know like your vibe is like not gonna sustain this beautiful environment that I took so much time to make. So I suggest you like sign up for a kickboxing class with a bunch of people. You can meet them and like do your kind of aggressive thing, because I'm into like looking at sunlight on leaves and listening to this tiny waterfall here. So I don't think we can hang out, is the feeling I get about that. I can read the poem too, since we're doing like long reading. Okay, 28. Oh, I went right to the page. That doesn't always happen. Are you aware that sweetness is found everywhere in town? It's like town. Okay, good. Whatever. Okay. Are you aware that winter is gone and spring has come around? Are you aware that sweet basil and the carnation are whispering in the garden and laughing about how simply everything is found? Are you aware the nightingale has come back from its flight, singing out messages of love to spread delight with every sound? Okay, is there more? Yeah, there's more. Everything in the garden is granted the right from the divine court to appear for our delight. Everything is here to make the earth green and alive as a haven for our life. What remains buried in the soil will always endeavor to reach out. No one truly alive can ever be pawned to a prison or a tomb. All right. Like, I know that Rumi like didn't write poems in English, right? So this is like a epic fail in translation, I think. So I take issue with that translation of his work. But having said that, like, with all due respect, I love this deck, but like, I think we could do one better on that translation. Okay. This kind of goes back to like what I was talking about the last two readings, where we're connected to source, like to God. Like God is like, I'll just say source energy just for simplicity's sake. And that contains everything that's ever been made or can be made. It's like a very abundant feeling, right? So if you can't be going around saying to yourself, like, I have nothing, I'm part of nothing, that is a complete, like, in your face, just source energy who's like, what are you talking about? Look around you. Like, maybe not everything is like how you would make it. Like when I walk around Montreal, there's like there's some parts that are nice, like, old Montreal, whatever. But then some buildings are just made because it's like, I just need a building, like, what, glass, like, rectangular or whatever. I want it to look a little bit fancy, just to throw some granite in the lobby. We just need some couches. It's not like Mies van der Rohe going like, it will be like this, like it will be perfect. And to really get on the whatever pulpit about like architecture, the Westmount Square here in Montreal, like the people that owned it like did a heinous renovation that like removed all aspects of minimalism like in the interior of the building, and they also like have the fountain off all the time, so it's like the sort of the fountain is supposed to be like the feminine, and then the towers are supposed to be masculine, and they're supposed to both be working. And anyway, it's just like a hot mess over there, and I just like, where do you even start with people who can't respect like a building like those? Anyway, so like that like successfully erased my hard drive thinking about that. Right. So abundance, like, okay, creating stuff, yeah. So you, just because you don't like the creations that other people have made around you doesn't mean like everything is just terrible, you know. It's, you have to look at stuff like, wow, like the universe is so generous that they created that vision of that someone had, and maybe that vision was like not awesome, nonetheless it got built. Like, you can't sit in judgment about like what was created. You have to just remember like there is creation, there is abundance, like there is, for ideas that are expressed, something can be made. So you just have to get in the game of like being, knowing that like nature and the world is like recycling itself like with this endless abundance. And just like, you know, grass wins like when it bursts through like an old parking lot, like nature wins, you know. And even though it's like fragile and like whatever, so it's like we can't forget there is a place for us to create too, and we don't have to go around like hating what everybody else made. Like, you know, it's like Lot's wife, like you can't just like turn around and become a pillar of salt just going like everything you made sucks. Like you can't be that person. You have to be like looking forward, living in the present, like what am I creating now? You know, maybe that will leave some kind of like positive legacy, or someone will walk by your building and go like, finally someone did it right, you know, like and enjoy your masterpiece. Sorry, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna say sorry every few minutes. I'm Canadian, so it's like an easy word to say because it's part of our go-to list of words, especially coming from Toronto. Okay, so we have the angel Rasbar. I'm not aware of who this angel is, but I get a really nice feeling looking at this card. Again, I see these like watchful, I don't know if you can see that, these like eyes in that purple. I don't want to see my face close up there. Okay. So anyway, I'm seeing like, again, someone looking who's passionate, like who's in this purple zone. So it's like someone is like really getting in your space, like psychically, or looking online or whatever at you. Yeah, and there's like, I feel like this curve here is like, this sort of feels like some, you're adding sort of some structure to what is like your love life, or what is normally like a sort of a ephemeral like feeling of like feeling good. Like I want to feel good, like this way is what I feel. So you put like boundaries on how you operate. Meanwhile, you develop this like beautiful feeling and beautiful thing around, like you're decorating your imagination, kind of like what I was saying before, like you have a super condo within yourself and you decorate it, and you dwell in that space of like where beauty and manifestations like have already come to pass. And And decorate it, and like regardless of what you see around you, like kind of like what I was saying about like the bad architecture and stuff, like you're not going to have good results unless you're like so heavily developed in your interior with supporting your visions and what you like and how you want to operate and stuff. And then you go out in the world and people kind of like they scan like, okay, this person's happy or this person wants this in their life. Like we're all pretty good. Even people that say like, I can never be psychic, like they can read people. Like that's basically your psychic right there. So when you do this inner work and then you go out into the world and people scan you, they're going to go like, okay, I can do this behavior with them. And maybe you're just vibing like, don't come to me unless you have something really cool to offer. Cause like, look how beautiful and awesome I am. You know, look at this beautiful forest I created. This is where I live. This is where I live in my mind. Okay. So, and then we have one more Remy card, the lion and the deer. Okay. I mean, for people asking for readings and stuff, I do have my website listed. You might be talking about like on the fly readings and stuff, like live. But I'm gonna try to get through these cards. At some point, I may like just do no cards and like waiting for people to show up in the comments and answering questions. But this particular reading is not that. But if you want to email me through my website, you can ask me like a quick question just as like an introduction, sort of little high five. You know, I can give you a quick impression of what I think of what you're asking. It's like a long sentence. Okay. I guess I didn't read the poem that goes along with the angel raspberry, but I'm a little bit tentative about how it's gonna be like. I'll just have a quick peek. 27. Better be good. Oh, it's short. Okay, good. Tell me the truth, I asked love. What are you? I am the everlasting life, love said. I am the recurring joy of living. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like what we were talking about. We can't forget that, like, in order to generate like the things that you want in life, like love or anything else, we have to like remember that we're experiencing joy right now, like somewhere. If it's not like in like the 3D world, it's like in our heart, in our mind. There's joy there. Like either you saved like some awesome memories, or there's dreams you have, or there's things you like, or you can think about those. Like it's very powerful to put your mind to things that are beautiful, because then it has like a kind of ripple effect on everything around you. It's really cool, actually. It takes a little bit of mental training to take your mind out of like what we call reality and put it to like things that we love, and just keep imagining scenes of like things working out, and like instead of spending time thinking like it's not going to work out, like it's like, no, think about like see it, like see in your mind, like getting paid for doing something awesome that you enjoy, or people enjoying time together where there may have been tension for, like you have control over that, so that when you step into those situations, that vibe is there, like get that positive vibe. So use that, because it's part of how we live. And there's like many manifestation videos out there like trying to teach that concept in one way or the other. Okay, and then we have the lion and the deer. I'm just going to kick things off with the poem on this one. Okay. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like a rose. What did I just talk about exactly? When you fly towards heaven, you become graceful like the angel. Yep. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like air in yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. Okay, well, okay, I'm not gonna get into it. I really like literature and stuff, so it triggers me. Suffice to say that, like, yeah, we're I kind of feel like that poem's about like two different subjects, but okay. But yeah, like we're nurturing those visions within ourselves, as we just talked about. Okay, so thank you very much. We're gonna need back on to, we'll do the Ascended Masters. So we have Pan, fertility, and nurture yourself. Okay. Okay. So like when you see images of like diamond auras around Mother Mary and stuff, it's like, how did that get made, right? Like, how do we go from just being this person to this person, right? And we're like thinking about our heart, you know, and our connection with spirit through our mind, maybe with our eyes closed. And then we're aware of all the beauty and wealth that lives there. And that makes us shine with the light of like the divine, okay? Then we have Pan, who I feel like, because he's such an earth like being and spirit, like how much are you getting outside and like really being connecting with nature and being like sensual? And when I mean sensual, the word sense is sensual, and there's more than one sense, right? Like, so in all eyes, ears, smell, taste, you know, joy, whatever, like you know, your intuition, it's like, get back in there, get back in that forest. Like, look at it. If you live in a city, if you see a flower, just take a minute and just like put the brakes on and really look at that flower and look at how nature made that. And nature makes all different kinds of flowers. There's so much variety of expression and joy in just the creation of this flower. Like, connect with that, because you have creative powers and the things you can make are also beautiful and unique and moving to people. Like, you might think from programming, just living in the world, like that maybe they've taught you that you're just bland, or you know, you have to be like you have to look a certain way or whatever to like be worthy of admiration or something. We all have this capability of making something beautiful, either, you know, something we created, an idea, like just walking around vibing, like this amazing feeling that people enjoy, like in any way. Like, we're capable of creating something beautiful that's profound, you know, and will make people feel like they're in a fragrant land with rainbows and winding rivers, stuff like that. So get back in touch with that as much as you can. It's better to try to see something real that is of nature than thinking about it. In this case, like in this card, it's like think about it. This card is like do it, like go outside if you can, or somehow gain access to something natural. Even like a lettuce leaf that's or is beautiful if you examine it. Like it's incredible, and there's different kinds of lettuce and it's like it doesn't have to be like the most extreme example of nature, like good for you if you're in Tahiti or whatever, but if you're not, like there's still ways to appreciate nature. And one thing I do is like I like some of the bigger trees in Montreal, and I feel like they have good wisdom. Like if you're really into practicing like listening and your intuition and stuff, like trees like have really tree like personalities, and they like have really like solid advice about like not being so random because they chose to be still, right? Anyway, that's like maybe that's for another day. Then we have from the Hermetic Tarot deck. Hi to everybody that's put a comment, and to people who haven't, also hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we have like the Devil card and the Universe. I'll let you look at those because there's so much detail on these cards. Okay. Well, I kind of feel, like Monty Python. I don't know if that just, I'm showing my age here by saying that, but the depictions here kind of remind me of that. Like what used to seem kind of scary or controlling, it looks comical now, I think. It's like people tried their best to like control you or be sneaky or whatever. It's just like, okay, all right, like if it's not your first merry-go-round, like so like, there's just people like this who are just into being controlling and pushy and like sexy in a way that's like not cool with you, or like, or creeping you out. It's like, yeah, like these people they're here. Like they're here among us. Doesn't have to like rule your day. You know what I mean? Like live and let live. And like if people are like this knocking on your door, like you don't have to let them in. You just be like, yeah, like just do your thing and I'm good. It's nice that the energy on that, it doesn't feel like, it just is what it is. Like there's some people who are like narcissistic or controlling, whatever, for whatever reason. Maybe that was the modeling they had growing up and that's all they know. It's like maybe they think that like by showing that they want to control you, that's their form of saying like I love you, and that might not be your way of saying I love you or wanting to receive that, but like that's all they know. So you can't just be like, oh, you're so terrible for being like that. Like they just need to either spend the rest of their life like that and you're not going to spend a bunch of time with them, or they'll do some self-reflection and go like, wow, like none of my relationships are working out and being controlling doesn't seem to be working, so maybe I will change. It's like, don't hold your breath. And then we have the Universe card. The Great One of the Night of Time. It's like a lot of. the night of time. Okay. Does time, I guess time, the illusion of time has day and night, I guess. So this is the top guy in I don't know. Okay. I'm just gonna, so we have like sides on the top, right? But they seem kind of like little. I don't know. Everything seems to have like a rosy glow to it, or like a comedic kind of glow to it. So it's like whatever seemed to be like taking too long, or like when will I be able to harvest? It's like, well, no, like harvesting time of like maybe you put in so much work, finally it's ready. There can be like a bit of a, it's like when you desire something and you're like, oh my god, like imagine if I like got to audition for something, or like imagine, and then like, you finally like you do your preparation, you're at the audition and you're just like, this is as normal as like rice and beans right now. So it's like, yes, you completed something, but it seems kind of like normal, you know. But don't let your tiredness, or like, yeah, don't let your state of mind like ruin how this is actually a great achievement. Just because it doesn't seem like a lot to you doesn't mean it isn't a lot. And your self the 6 months ago would be jumping for joy. So don't rain on your own parade about that. And don't like scribble a bunch of nonsense about like this situation, which is actually like very like sort of king energy of success. Like I succeeded in doing this, and I'm not gonna be like Debbie Downer about it. And it's kind of like when you complete a project, you're just like, you just feel kind of you feel like that your previous idea was like inferior, and you feel kind of dirty of like having made something that is not as perfect as you want to, but it's like you needed to do that to get to want to make something else new, better, whatever. So just don't like don't forget to celebrate your achievements, even though you're crabby. Because they're little milestones, and it's like you have to keep high-fiving yourself, or else you'll kind of lose track, or you'll like go down some other road which is not helpful. Like you don't want to go from being like someone who's dreaming and creating their wonderful projects to like becoming an internet troll, like, or you know what I mean, like just stay on your path. All right. And then we have the Chariot, just like yesterday. We have the Lovers and the Tower. That's a nice little, and they're all major arcana, which is like heavy duty. So like something's falling apart so that you can move forward and be doing the thing you feel divinely guided to do, whether it's relationship, working with someone. Yeah, that's like pretty simple. And if you've had like me or many other people, most people, many moments like this where you were doing something and then it just blows up in your face, like, and then you feel kind of disoriented, like, what? Like, this isn't how I was living yesterday. Now I'm upside down, floating in the air. It's okay. Like, if this thing wasn't working, you need to be in that different environment and headspace so that you can be determined to be like, okay, I'm moving forward no matter what with this new plan, and all the forces are helping me. And if it's like a divinely guided idea you had, you really feel like it's connected with your authentic self, not necessarily your self with no clothes on, just means authentic. Like you have nothing to hide. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. And okay. We got these two cards here. We have the Knight of Cups. And we have, again, what's this one? 20, card 20. Wondering. Jeez, I have to look this one up, I think. Where's my brain? Someone can tell me. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me what number 20 cards. Okay. I'm gonna look it up because, like, I don't know. It's so naughty of me not to know that. Okay, that's German. That's not gonna help me. It'd be cool to know German though, because like so many good books and movies in German. And it's like always better to have the original language. I wish I'd gone to a grammar school where we were taught like 5 languages only, and like leave the math and everything else for later. Because like communication is so important. Oh my gosh, like for real. Opens up the whole world for you. Oh, judgment. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense because she's like in a penitentiary or something. Cupcake penitentiary. Like, there's a bit of a like insincere who me, you know, that she's giving to this rabbit down here. You know when like you're dating someone or you know someone and you know they like did something sly and you call them on it and you're like this person saying like, did you cheat on me? Or like, you know, and they're like, what? Like, this is the kind of from this card where you're confronting something and it's like you're not getting the right answer. But do you need to hear it from them? Do you need to hear logic from someone who's illogical? Do you need to hear truth from someone who isn't truthful? Like, good luck with that. So just make your judgment if you need to in order to move on because things aren't working out. So you can move on and have something actually good. Someone who does tell the truth, who's authentic, has nothing to hide, and who's also spiritually guided to be with you too. So it's like, it would be better than hanging out with this person who's like, what? Like maybe they're cute, but they're up to stuff, and it's like not that fun when you do the math. All right. We have, the Knight of Cups. Yeah, because I just feel like this person has just been being mean, like taking you for a ride, you're getting whipped by this person, you know, either mentally or emotionally, or, you know, I'm not going to go there, but, and it's not that fun, you know, and it's like stressful and it's just a game to them, you know, like this is a toy. It's just like, bye. Thank you. You know, you're cute. That was interesting. Thanks for the hard lessons. It's over now. I'm going to move on, do something better, you know, bye. So that's that kind of relationship-y vibe that's happening right now. because you want to build something solid with someone that's divinely guided. Like it's you, the person. It's like this is almost the same card to me, where you have two people agreeing to build, and like spirit is like the third wheel in the mix. Because it's like if you have like a conventional marriage ceremony, usually you're talking about like God being part of it, like I'm saying this before God, or like whatever, it's like there's some usually reference to spirit in there somewhere. And so you're making this like project together guided by spirit, and that makes it stronger. It's not just like a pole, it's like a triangle. Like, oh my gosh, like, way more structurally sound. Okay, so like you want to build something real now, because you've spent a lot of effort on your own, building your own like stability. Thank you. Wow. And you're more like into playing by the rules and like having discipline and boundaries, and it's like, okay, to me a relationship is this, you're like spelling it out. Oh my gosh, the Lovers again. So yeah, people, it gets me choked up. You're like more into something serious now. Like you can't, maybe you're telling people like, yeah, I don't want no drama. Or like, you know, just whatever the lingo is, like whatever. Maybe you're presenting to the world like that you're not really, your head isn't really like actually so serious right now, but it is. You are actually ready for something real. Because you've gone through what it feels like to fight with people, and it's like, yeah, maybe you won the fight, but it's, what are you really gaining out of that? Like it's just a stress headache at the end of the day. And now you're ready to offer your heart in a way that maybe is like awkward, but it's a good start. Maybe you don't seem like you have everything to offer, but you have a little something. It's like, that's kind of cute. Like, who doesn't want a sweet offer of affection, like that's actually loving, like not just like straight up hugs and then bye or whatever. Like it's like, I want to make something with this. I collected I'm just making stuff up here right now, but like, let's say this person cried their tears into this cup and then held the cup to their heart, and that transformed it into this beautiful like love potion that they're willing to now give away to someone that they care about, because it has this beautiful transformative power. Like, that's pretty cool. There's nothing to like say isn't cool. All right. Because you've been through like, what number is that? Nine, yeah. You've been through so much. You're just like, oh my gosh, like how much more can it take? For real. You just want to be on the other side of this wall of like stuff you went through. And that's possible if you get into like the Fool energy and just drop these wands and walk into it like, okay, I trust the world. I'm not going to be in this like prison of my thoughts about like what happened before, and like always feel, it's an illusion. It's like, can seem pretty real, sure, but like how much of that is your own mind? Like if you spend like the next 5 minutes straight up dreaming from your heart, envisioning all the beauty and like things that you love, things that you want in your life, that you accept into your life, like that are maybe they're not present right now, but you're like, you can see them in your mind's eye and you're like, yeah, I welcome that. Like I yield to that thing that I love now. Like I'm no longer resisting those things. Like I'm not resisting them with my prejudice that like I couldn't have them or something. It's like I'm yielding to it now. I will not fight you, wonderful relationship. I will not fight you, dream job. I won't fight you, happy feelings all day, you know. Instead of like living in this prison of what just happened or whatever, you know, like, and that will result in feeling like you have it all, total satisfaction, stability. It makes my ears kind of buzz just like looking at this card. Maybe that means you'll hear from somebody, or there'll be like talk about how well you're doing. But it's like if you do all these steps that we talked about, it will help you get to this. I think that's all my cards. I hope I'm just gonna. What? I'm not really sure what that comment means. Okay. I guess in some ways, like giving a reading online is like it's just, here it is, you know what I mean? And I don't know what to make of that. But anyway, I wish you guys the best, and I hope that you enjoyed some aspect of this reading or it resonated and find it interesting or helpful. I enjoy spending this time with you, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you want to contact me, my information you can reach me through my website, and I do mostly distance healing with a psychic reading as a part of that. I do tarot just for fun, to connect with you guys and to share my point of view with you. And hopefully you enjoy that. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye.